Hey, everyone. Welcome home. Oh, here we are. My gosh. Facebook is buggy. I'm, I'm going live on our private Facebook group, Ageless Energy, and you may be listening on a different platform. So wherever you are, welcome. I feel like I might need to start doing something different for our lives to make sure we're able to stream. I sat here for 5 minutes trying to get on, and I was like, oh no, we're not going to be able to get this going. But at any rate, appreciate you guys jumping in here. Today I'm going to talk about pushing your limits, stretching your comfort zone. I'm going to be talking about my 21K run, Spartan run, 30 some obstacles. I think there's 33 obstacles, but I had a lot of questions about this topic. So I know it's a little bit different than what we usually talk about. However, I'm going to do my best to relate it to everyday life, nutrition, fitness, etc. And then the questions that I came in, I'm going to answer today. The questions that came in about this race, from prep to travel, I'm going to answer today as well. So, if you're not sure who I am, my name's Drew Tadia, founder and CEO of True Form Life. For the past 20 years, we've been working with women 40 plus to help them increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So, if that's you, you're in the right place. Even though we're talking about something slightly different, you might be thinking, I do not want to run 21K. And that is perfectly okay. You don't have to. That's not what I'm going to be talking about. I saw Sandy said good morning. Good morning to you, Sandy. Brian, I'm going to answer your questions today. Angela's in here and a few others. So welcome everyone that's in here. Let's dive in. If you guys have any questions, I like to run these as live Q&As. Feel free to drop your questions below, and I'll answer them for you. So if you're not sure, I've been talking about Spartan runs. I guess if you're not sure my past, I played professional baseball for a number of years. I certainly went through high school, college, university playing, and then I made it to the professional level, traveled throughout the U.S. and the world playing. And then when I moved my inspiration to business, there's always maybe something, I don't know if missing is the right word, but I strive, or I thrive in competitive arenas. And I started to do Spartans more recently. So Spartan's a little bit different. It's you're kind of on your own. Like, you can compete against other people if you want. They have different categories, and it's something for me to train. When I say this, people always freak out. They're like, because of my profession, but I say I don't particularly love working out, like the working out piece on its own. I like the benefits of it. So I always feel better, like more confident, healthier, happier, stronger, mentally, physically, emotionally. All the benefits that come along with exercise, I appreciate more than the actual exercise. So when it comes to working out in particular, I think we all need something to work towards or strive towards, including myself. And for me, it's at this point in my life, it's Spartans. That's what I'm training for, because we enjoy the travel aspect of it as a family. And then I enjoy the challenge. It's certainly a challenge mentally and physically. And that's something that gives me a reason to wake up and exercise, especially when I don't want to. So hopefully you can take that and use it in your own life in some way. So I wouldn't suggest everyone should choose running, choose Spartans, whatever it is. Like, you need to find something that wakes you up and pushes you through challenging times, especially when you're not motivated to working out. And again, for me, that was a Spartan. So this was my second 21K. I did one in Arizona. I don't know if I actually talked about it. Can you just let me know in the comments if I shared that with you? But that was super emotional, because that was the first time through a horrible chronic back pain um, battle that I dealt with for a couple of years. And I said once I was through that, I was going to celebrate with a trifecta, which I did last year. So that's 3 different races, 5K, 10K, and 21K. And the 21K was super emotional because I was like, couldn't believe it was happening. And like halfway through the course, I was fighting back tears. Like, I can't believe I'm in this place, because I was in a really rough place where I could hardly walk, let alone run long distances. But you know what's interesting to me is how, well, okay, two aspects. Someone remind me if I forget to tell you the second one. The first one is how beneficial it is to stretch your comfort zone and put your body in a mind body state of being in a challenging place. I feel like in most cases people won't do that to make their life easier, which is it cliche or ironic that you could make your life easier if you made your life harder. But like, if I consider like an ice bath, for example, most people won't even consider it. You could bring it up and they'd instantly say not interested, like no chance. And that's just an easy one for me. There's a dozen different things. Like, most people won't have a difficult conversation, right? Even though that difficult conversation would be life changing. It would reduce stress. It would improve your situation at work or at home, family, whatever it is. Most people still won't have that conversation. So when I look at putting myself in a challenging place to make other areas of my life easier, it just makes so much sense. And it really does. So if I think back of the challenging things that I've done, I think to myself, what else have I done challenging that would help me get through this place in my life? And that's different for everyone. Like, everyone has different challenges. We all go through struggles. That's life. That's being human. I don't think life was meant to be easy, but we're only looking for, like most of us, we're only looking for things that are, how do you say, like pampering. Like, we love the pampering aspect, right? We seek out things that make life easier. But what if you were to consider the opposite? Like, what if you actually were to seek out challenging things in your life, and that would make everything way easier? that's really all there is to it. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Spartans, because when I thought, I've never claimed to be a runner. I still don't particularly enjoy running. We used, for context, when as an athlete, they use running as a punishment, which probably isn't the best thing. Same with like push-ups, burpees, running. Like, those are all punishments. So you're not listening, go for a run. Show up late, you run. So, like, deeply ingrained in me is, don't run. It's a punishment. So when the thought of running 21K, it was just way out there. It was like, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? Why does anyone do that? And after doing my second one, it wasn't easy. Like, it certainly wasn't easy. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't easy. I was looking for something to push my mind and body in different ways. But to normal, like sit in an ice bath, and most times I can sit in an ice bath for a long time, just because I've been doing it for years. And it's the same thing like with this run. Like, you probably talk to any long distance runners, and when they started, it was probably a bit daunting. But I guess my point here is that it became much, even the second time I did it, it came much more mentally and physically, not physically. Well, my training was better, so yes, physically, but it came much more mentally prepared by doing it once and then a second time. And then you probably do 3 or 4. And I think I don't know what the statistic is. I don't know if, Brian, if you're watching, but there's some type of running statistic, like a very small percentage of the world will ever run a marathon or ever run a half marathon. And then even smaller, of course, that will run a full marathon. And then you only do a handful and you become an expert, and you can talk about it like, you know what you're talking about, like me right now. Don't know what I'm talking about. for the running aspect. But I just wanted to share with you that if you continually put yourself in uncomfortable situations, it becomes easier. Not only does life become easier, but those similar situations become easier. So when I'm talking to our clients, for example, or our members, they some of them will say, I'm stressed out about this. So why are we talking about stress? Because cortisol levels are increased and they're not able to burn body fat because their whole being is in this fight or flight stressful state that's holding on to everything, including body fat. So I say, okay, well, having this difficult conversation that's creating all that stress is something that you probably need to do. And they're like, so some people will do it. Those ones that are very coachable, and a lot of the A type are really good at listening to direction and just doing what they're told, which is why they see such amazing results. Um, so having that difficult conversation is able to alleviate stress, which then reduces cortisol levels, and then they can reduce body fat. Right? Like that's the system, that's the process, that's how it works, and that's like you're not going to get that kind of training or understanding from like a general, like you go to a gym and you're lifting weights and nothing happens, you don't see any results, right? Why aren't you seeing results? Well, there's no one there to help you work through those challenging times in your life, which is kind of what we do. But moving back to, and it's the same thing as like, so if you continue to have those difficult conversations on a regular basis, they become easier and it becomes more normal. Like I don't particularly like them, but I know how necessary they are to run a business, to have a successful spousal relationship, to have employees that will resonate with you and will do the things that you're asking because they're important, even though they don't think they're important. So you have to have continual difficult conversations to make them easier, to make your life easier. Sounds funny, right? But the majority of the time, people won't have difficult conversations because they're difficult, which makes their whole life more challenging. So the more of those conversations you have, the easier they become, the easier life becomes, which is kind of like maybe the chicken or the egg. So let's see. More directly, I ran with a friend. We flew down to Houston. We traveled. It was like a traveling Spartan, which again we like. We stayed by the beach, which was awesome. And so running with someone was much easier than running on your own because you could talk and communicate. That was nice. That made things a little bit easier. And the training aspect of putting yourself in very difficult situations for as long as possible, which is what I did leading up, made this race quite a bit easier. And then, like you have to look at what your goals are, right? Like I wanted to complete all of the obstacles. And the last 21 I did, there was one wall called the Olympus, and then you have like these little holes in the wall, and there's chains and there's rock climbing things, and you have to shimmy across the wall, not vertically but horizontally, and you're only holding yourself up by like your fingertips. That was the only one I didn't complete in the last race, and I really wanted to complete all of them this time. So I did that. I was able to complete that one, and I did it. So that was something I'm very proud of, not just completing the race, but a race within the race, or a challenge within the challenge, if you will. So I think that might be helpful for some of you. If it's like, what are you working towards? Well, this month I'm working towards 12 workouts, let's say. I'm going to complete 12 workouts. So then within that challenge that you set for yourself, you could say, I want to, maybe you're keeping track of your push-ups. I want to complete 12 push-ups for every workout that I'm doing within that challenge. So there's always different ways you can push yourself. And for me, it's like you have to continually push yourself and challenge yourself in different ways. Just showing up for your workouts isn't going to get you the results you're hoping for. And that's, you hear from people that are like, oh, I'm doing all my workouts. Well, how hard are you pushing yourself? Or what is your heart rate while you're going through the exercises? Or is there a particular area that you can work on that will help you in different areas? So those are all certainly things that you can work on while you're working out. It's pretty difficult if you don't have someone working with you through it, but that's it's kind of up to the individual to decide if they choose to continue to struggle on their own, if they want to work with someone. Um, let's see. So this is Cheryl from our MAP group. That's our Metabolism Accelerator program where we work one-on-one with our members. So she said, what does eating look like on vacation for you guys? So it's funny, Dorothy and I had this conversation, and we don't really call it a vacation. I actually took a step back and worked much less than I usually do while on vacation, but we still work. Like I love to work. I also love to spend time with my family, but I rarely take complete days off. I never take complete weeks off. I don't feel like we're there in business. Like I'm not in a place where business can run without me completely. That's something that we're working towards, and that's a real business. Right now, this is a paid job for me. That's funny. You listen to people talk about their business, right? I have a business. I have 6 businesses. Like you don't really like. I'm pretty in tune with what's going on. Like you have a job. For me, like I was listening to this other guy talk about entrepreneurship, and he said, I didn't make any money for 10 years. And I was like, me neither. And then he's like, I would have made more money working at McDonald's for 10 years than I did trying to run my own business. And I was like, oh man, me too. But we have these like conceptions of like we're running these businesses, but in most cases you're really just giving yourself a job and a whole lot of headaches. Maybe for a different topic. Okay, for vacationing, I don't really consider us going away a vacation because we're still working. And also this is just a term or a word, but I think words are very powerful in how you phrase things in your mind. So for example, I don't really call it a vacation because I'm working, and if it was a true vacation, I probably would not do anything or like sit on a beach, which I wouldn't enjoy. So I don't call it a vacation. That's number one. Not that matters much. It's just in my own perspective. And then what does eating entail? It's the same. It's the same. I wish there was like a fancy hack or something I could explain, but it's not. So we almost never travel without a kitchen. There's one. If we do, it's rare, and we come prepared with, like for example, I went to a business conference in Toronto. I don't know, in December, a few months ago, and we had a really nice place. They comped breakfast, which means they covered breakfast, and it was amazing breakfast, maybe the best buffet style breakfast I've ever had. I don't know how we got that. Dorothy's really good at negotiating that kind of stuff. You should talk to her about negotiating. She's secretly very persuasive. And then we had Instacart. We ordered Instacart immediately. When we landed, we had Instacart coming with all the groceries we needed, delivered to the hotel. So food is very important. That's why I say but that's a rarity. So in most cases, for this trip in Houston, we got from the airport, went straight to the grocery store. That's it. We didn't even go to our hotel before food. That's how important food is to us. Food heals, cures, prevents. Food is important for me, for training. It's important for us, for our lifestyle, to be happy, healthy, strong. So and then what kind of foods? It's the same foods that we recommend. Those of you, I don't think we have too many people tuning in, but at least for our MAT members, you guys know exactly what we recommend, what we do. We recommend the 4 macros. We had a full kitchen. So we made food the same as you would see on your MAP menu just in a different place, in a different kitchen, in a different state and country. But nothing changed. It was the same foods that we ordered. It was the same 4 macros, and it was the same meals spread out throughout the day. So that's probably not that exciting, but that's how we live. We live very simply. That's how we teach our members to stop making things complicated in your life, simplifying things as much as possible, removing the things that make yourself more stressful, and then adding simplicity. And it's funny, like when you start talking with a new member or I start coaching them, it's often, well, why don't I do this or why don't I do that? And I'm like, why don't you just make your life easier and do this? And in most cases, people catch on and they're like, oh, I didn't realize that could be so much easier. But like sometimes you have people come in and they're like, they want to try, because it's what they're used to, right? You're used to trying one workout here and one workout there, and this philosophy from someone else, and this diet from there, and these workouts. Like, you don't have to go somewhere else and grab recipes. Like, we have all of our recipes, and they're amazing. Dorothy's been working on them for 10 years. You don't have to go other places to find recipes. We have them all. You don't have to go other places to find workouts. They're all in your app. But sometimes we still have people that are like, oh, I'm going to try this one instead. It's like, you're just complicating your life. Instead of going out of your way to do other things, just do what the program says, and you're going to see great results. I just posted Cheryl's only on week 4, and she dropped 12 pounds, 12 inches, and she said she hasn't slept this well in years. But she's also doing everything we ask. And like, those are the people that see the best results. I mean, that's all there is to it. They do the workouts, they follow the meal plans, they show up to coaching calls. Because you have to follow mindset as well. It's not just those people that do it's not just, right. So the 3 main things we ask, like, we create recipes for you, we create meal plans for you. It's one. That's 33% of basically of the program. Besides, we do a lot of little things, like we meet at runs or races. We do workshops, but that's part of the coaching, right? So coaching, like booking your calls. So there's coaching, and then there's the meal plan that we follow, and then there's the workouts. And it's not like just grab any random workout. Like, we have every 6 weeks we change it. You have an off week, etc. These are the deliverables that are features that maybe people aren't really interested. Most people just want to know the benefits. But I'm telling you, like, for example, how Cheryl saw such great results in a short amount of time is because she's doing the 3 things. So that's 99%, 99.9%, right, of the program. So sometimes people will come in and they'll just do 2, right? They'll do 2 of the 3 things that we ask. And so now that instantly drops to 66%. So you're almost following our program only halfway. So you're going to see half the results as someone that comes in and does everything, and they are showing maximum results because they're putting maximum effort and they're following maximum amount of the program. Like, just makes sense, right? But you still have people that are kind of doing their own thing or dabbling here and there, and they're like, how come I'm only seeing a little bit of results? And like, because you're not doing all the things that we're asking you to do. Otherwise, you'd see great results, right? That's a tough one to get to wrap around people's minds. I'm not sure why, but Veronica's, what did you learn? Any good insights for us before our next daunting challenge? Hopefully earlier when I talked about just basically stretching your comfort zone. Veronica's one of our members as well, and she's doing amazing. I really enjoy our conversations, and there's so many things that we can talk about. There's so many things that we coach around and help, but hopefully what I shared earlier, Veronica, that was helpful. Moira says, how do you use your supplements? Mag, do you bring flakes on your trips? I'm not sure if that's message or massage. Any massage? Okay, no massage. That's an easy one to answer. Supplements are the same. We don't do anything different. We take our supplements with us. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if I should travel with liquid mag. We do. And we throw it in a bag. If you're really worried about it, you could screw it on tight, throw it in a Ziploc bag, and then put it in your suitcase. We travel with our greens. We bring our I do a heavy dose. I'm going to get to Brianne's question here in a minute. Protein. We travel with our protein. We don't have any problems taking our supplements. It's like a big concern for a lot of people. Maybe traveling within Canada and they just have carry-on bags. I get that with the liquid. But there's still like this fear of traveling with their supplements like you're doing something wrong. Like, they're natural supplements. There's nothing wrong with them. But you know, the other thing is, like, most people won't. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying most people won't even consider leaving their home without their pharmaceuticals, right, or their prescriptions. But when it comes to supplements, it's like, should I take that? I think you'd have a much harder time traveling with medication than supplements. But I don't know. It's not my bag. I don't know much about that stuff. But I guess we wouldn't take like MCT oil. So if I'm looking at our shipping house right now, we take magnesium bath flakes because I bath before and after any big race with them. So this is in part to help Brianne's question. So magnesium bath flakes come with us. Both spirulina and chlorella come with us. Those are a non-negotiable, especially for a long race like this to fuel properly. Protein powder's got to come. No question about that. Our liquid mag comes. No question about that. And then you can consider, I don't bring like a gel or a spray. You could if you need it. I would use gel and spray when I have extra pain, but I don't, which is nice. So yeah, it's pretty simple. We pretty much do almost the exact same thing when we're away as we're at home. That's how we live. Like, because we travel quite a bit. Like, we used to travel more, but our little guy, like our toddler, he's been on over a dozen flights, I think, maybe 20 flights. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot in 3 years, but we travel a lot, so we don't want to change our lifestyle every time we jump on a plane or anytime we drive across provinces or states or state lines. Like, everything is very, very similar. So again, I don't know if that's fancy or what you're looking for, but simplicity wins. And then Brianne, I think my answer is going to be the same here for Brianne. What's your recovery after something like a Spartan while you're away from home? My hubby has run marathons in Victoria and the States, and I can't help but think his recovery was hindered by not having all the, well, that's a fancy word, amenities. I don't know why that's a tough word for me to read. And things are the normally we have at home: tub with mag flakes, proper kitchen, massage gun, roller, stick, mag spray, massage, chiro, all the things. Instead, he runs, recovers slightly, and we see sightseeing if he's not out. Looking for a better routine while we're away. Yeah. Again, I have a very simple answer. I bring my massage gun with me. We have a small roller and a small stick. They all go in the suitcase. Those can even go on carry-ons. Like, I have a small cork roller that can fit in my carry-on bag. So doesn't change. I bring bath flakes, and she said proper kitchen with staple foods. So I guess I answered all this. So you almost always stay with the kitchen. If not, when we didn't, we ordered all the food that we needed. So we ordered salads that you could mix up. We ordered protein bars, pepperoni sticks, cheese, and you probably have to eat out a bit more. Like I said, we had our breakfast comped, so like breakfast at the hotel was amazing. So that was pretty cool. You might have to eat out. Sometimes we eat out once, not every night. We're not really fans of that. We don't enjoy it, but I think we ate out twice out of 4 days that we were away for supper. Otherwise, we would pick something simple, like a made like rotisserie chicken. I don't know how in depth you want me to get, but my recovery was fantastic. My first recovery. So when I did my first couple Spartans, not first, like I've done them in years past, but more recently when I kind of first started going again. This was last summer. I did a 5K and a 10K back to back. So 10K first and then 5K the next, and I could hardly walk. I was in a whole lot of pain. Probably pushed myself more than I should have, and I didn't train because I didn't train properly because I didn't know how strenuous it was going to be. So I was in a lot of pain for probably a week. Things changed a lot. So I've ran a few of these since, and my recovery was really good in Arizona after I did my first 21K, and then this is my second one. I just got a flash. I was like, I wonder in a few years if I'm going to be talking about like this is my 10th or 15th. Who knows? I'm going to wrap things up here for you guys. Just stay with me here. I want to mention our launch party, a new product coming out. Just my last little point here is that for recovery, I was fine. Like, recovery, I took 1 day off, but I did mag flake bath. Food is super important for recovery. Getting all my meals in, all the supplements, very important, which we took everything. And then I took 1 day off. The next day I was in the gym, did a full workout in like the hotel gym. And then the day after that I ran for a half hour just on the beach. I was 100%. So it really depends like in your prep and training. I think that makes a big difference. how prepped you are before the race, and then what you do after. Sometimes like it's like, I don't know, maybe this is judgment. I want to say no judgment, but it's mind-boggling to me how many people like they just want to have pizza and burgers and fries after to like celebrate, right? It's not really my thing. Like I would rather celebrate with an ice bath um and a nice salad with my family on the beach, which is what we did. Right. In the hotels you can have ice baths, which is what I do. I fill garbage cans full of ice. Instead of like a little ice bucket, I fill garbage cans of ice and I throw them in the bathtub and I'll sit in there. I do that both for pre and post. So I think a lot of people only do that for recovery, but I want my muscles to be strong and healthy and ready for the challenge. I don't do that right before. I'll do that a day or two before. And then the ice bath as soon as possible after to reduce that inflammation. Other than that, nothing changes for us. Like I was a little bit sore the next day, and the day after I was 100%. Like I could have. Well, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's not fair. I'm not like superhuman. I did the half-hour run 2 days later, and my legs were a little bit heavy. There's a lot of blood in there, right? Like everything needs to be flushed out, and you can consider going through like a little detox if you want. But we got right back at it with supplements. When I was running, like the day before the run, I try to drink a gallon of water, which is very challenging. A lot of times people are like, "Oh, I drink a gallon of water every day," and I'm like, "Do ya?" It's a tough one for me to. It's just really hard. You're chugging water all day and you're peeing all day, so, and that's really hard on the road. But I did that. And then you're up a little bit, peeing at night. It's a lot of water. So I drink a gallon of water before my run to help with any type of dehydration, and then I load up on greens. Like I take at least 2 times, maybe 3 times the amount of greens the day before my race days, and then the day of, I take throughout the race. So I'm taking greens throughout. If Dorothy's there, she'll give me greens. I had a pocket full of greens. I'm popping greens the whole way, and then after for that detoxing part I told you about, like to flush out lactic acid, I double up on. I probably have more spirulina before or during, and then I have more chlorella after for the detoxing benefits, and then it also helps with the immune system. So your immune system, I do feel my immune system's a little bit run down after pushing your body to that extent. So at any rate, hopefully that helps. This is the last thing. I see these guys opening the doors. It's about to get loud in here. We have our launch party coming up. New product. I really feel you guys are going to love this one. This one is going to be next week, so you guys have to use the link to sign up. We're going to have the launch party on. The launch party is going to be. Gosh, I forgot my train of thought. Oh, it's going to be on Zoom, so you need the link. So we have a link for you guys to sign up. You put your name, your phone number, so we can give you all the details. We can send you the link. You can unsubscribe at any time. If you really don't like to hear from us, you can unsubscribe after, but you need to subscribe so you can get the link to show up. We have prizes. Teresa is donating as a prize a complete 60-minute massage. Amazing. Bev, your fair lady, she has a number of amazing spices she's donating. We have we're doing a $300 product coupon, and we have a couple other things that we have for prizes just for being there. Don't even have to purchase anything, but it's gonna be awesome. I feel like you guys are gonna love this new product, and we're gonna have a special offer only for people that watch live. Okay, so you guys want to be there. The product has not arrived yet. We are very certain it's coming soon. Otherwise, we wouldn't start talking about this. I think it's going to be here early next week, and we want to launch as soon as possible. So that's probably looking at, I'm guessing, maybe a Thursday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's what I'm guessing. But I can't put that in stone until we actually get the product. So it's going to be amazing. I really think this is going to be one of our best sellers. Internally or forever optimistic. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining live. If we can help out with anything, let us know. If you want that link and you haven't signed up yet, just comment below and we'll send you the link to sign up for our launch party. Otherwise, trueformlife.com is our main website. If you need any supplements or need any coaching support, shoot us a message and we're happy to help. Have a great day, everyone.